we quick put the ride together.
So who is we? We're behind Mercury Burger Bar. It's the end of the day after the 2016 Tour de Troit, and I'm with Mke Hattey, who's been volunteering for a long time with Tour de Detroit, lots of other things. We were just talking about what a great event it is and everything. And somebody comes through the parking lot, and it is Mike who started the Tour de Troit 15 years ago with about 30 riders. So Mike, tell us about it. Of course, Vittoria Katinsky and Kelly Kavanaugh have just done such a wonderful job of taking your vision and taking it where it's coming. And the first thing you said to us is it's just amazing where it's gone to. So tell us a little bit about the origins of the
early days. So I rode the 5-borough tour in New York City, and it was my first time in New York City, and I was like thinking to myself, oh my God, you're so connected to everything around you when you're on a bike. Why can't we do something like this here? And so I came back, and I got with a friend of mine, Ed Potus, and we put a quick ride together. And it's funny because like I was listening to the Paul W. Smith show, and I was hearing plugs for the ride, and we couldn't get the media to touch it, so we made up a flyer, and we basically papered bike shops within the whole metro area, and we got 38 riders.
Okay.
Half of them were from Canada, and we didn't even go over there. So you saw all the SAG support out there today, and our first SAG van was Ed's trailer with a toolbox in it, and we had like 15 Detroit police officers with a couple of cars that just kept things flowing for us, and if it weren't for the Detroit Police Department and the outstanding support they gave us in that first year, this ride never would have happened. But it happened, and they loved it. And we came back the second year, we came back the third year. Every single year, the ride attendance doubled. It went from 38 the first year to 70 the second year to 150 the third year. And then I moved away, and I passed the baton off to the people that organize it now.
Vittoria and Kelly, did you know them?
And Kelly and Vittoria and Bill are all really good friends of mine.
Okay.
And I passed the baton off to them, and they've made this into what it is now.
Yeah.
And basically, so for me, this is like Christmas every single September, because the original vision that I had up here, it's here, and I can't be happier, and I can't be more prouder, and I'm getting choked up.
Well, similar story. I went up to WJR back in 1975 and started promoting I was going to have a foot race in the streets of Detroit. And I got back to my store almost across the street next to the London Chop House, and Police Chief Jim Bannon had a car waiting for me.
Yep.
Took me up to his office. He said, "You can't just promote a run. We don't have permits for runs."
Right.
And it was the first time nobody had ever put a run on the streets.
And so let me just so that was kind of my inspiration, because I was a kid when you had the store.
Okay.
I was like 15.
Oh,
and
wow.
And so I remember the say nice things about Detroit, and I remember the store, and I remember going in there, and that was kind of like, the me riding the tour was the inspiration. But
I appreciate that feedback.
I come back and I'm thinking, I remember this, and this is what needs to happen, and it was great. And I mean, thank you for the inspiration.
Well, and I say to everybody that continues, that volunteers, and everyone, because it's a long legacy of many people carrying it on. And our runs, we had 100 the first year, and grew to 15,000. And the thing about it is, I get so many people, just like you said, you were a kid and you came into the store. I get so many people that come in and said, I was a kid and ran in your races, or I've got my dad's T-shirt, he used to run in your races. And it's, well, that's the great thing about Detroit, is it's a small enough town that we all remember these things, and we were part of them. And Mike, how about you? How did you happen to get involved?
Well, I started doing, actually, I've always loved riding bikes, and I got involved. I work with the Slow Roll. I volunteer with that.
Right, that's where I met you. And you guys have all been so welcoming to me and saying the same thing to me, like Jason saying, you inspired me.
Yes, and I remember you, from back in the day.
Okay.
And y'all, the thing I love about you guys is you supported Detroit like before it was cool. If it wasn't for people like you, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Well,
but don't you feel, Mike, it's fun to come back, and like you say, we get to participate, and we don't have to do the intense organizing.
And now I can't give you any counts, but I know there were 5 boxes of volunteer shirts because I was handing out the t-shirts.
Yeah.
So it was 250 volunteers, 100 sweepers.
It was
We had
incredible.
like 20 or 30 from our group, you know.
Just out there on the course and the just the organization. I think I was most impressed with when I came over and worked the pickup packet, the volunteer tent, and Mike was working all day every day, but just how well organized it was as far as people coming up, and there'd be a long line. We just opened that book and everybody was in there and their number was there. We gave them their shirt.
Vittoria that was Vittoria and
that,
Tatiana.
The credit for that goes to Vittoria and Tatiana.
They did a great job with that.
And Kelly.
And when we did the runs, we had the era before computers, and when we eventually got to computers.
Just from my own standpoint, organizing the first 3, and all of the things that went into that I didn't have up here that needed to happen. And that was 38 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I cannot imagine what the phone calls and the logistics that goes involved with getting all of this together.
Colleen Robar has been great with and Ashley, Hannah, and Hannah Robar, Jackson, and there's a family thing, and yeah, it's been amazing.
But it's just really funny because like I look and I see, all this media, and I went to every single TV station, I went to every single radio station. I said, can we get a little blurb or something? And no joy. And the ride started out with us basically pounding the pavement and putting those flyers out to get those 38
before I had
people.
runs, I had a couple bike days.
Did you?
Yeah, and I found an old picture from about 1975 from W4 Billboard. Remember the one up on Jefferson?
Yeah.
I just found it the other day because I have boxes of stuff I'm going through now. And it says, coming up, May 2nd, second annual Emily's Bike Day.
Nice.
And we had the same thing. We had like 30, 40 people. We took them up through Cass and everything. And then I started giving tours on Saturdays. If you rode your bike down, and the person that gave the tours, and I only realized in the last 6 months or so, that Colin Hubble, who had so much to do with developing Midtown, we called him Kai Hubble, and he worked for me.
Really?
And he would ride his bike to work, and he and I, or one of us, would take people when they rode their bike on a Saturday, and he'd say, well, will you take us on a tour? And I only figured that was the same person, so I got in touch with Trish Hubble back in August, and we sat and had a long talk. I saw pictures of his kids, but just to remembering Kai, us going out on our bikes. As in those days, we in the late 70s, we rarely would pass somebody else on a bike.
Well, you know what? I wish I could turn the clock back to, the 4, 5, 6 of us sitting at the well at the bar. We've got beers going and just we can do this and we can do this and we can do this and we need to do this, and this all the stuff we have to do, and we put the first ride together, and it's just like I said, what it's become now is just
well, you've always got that in your heart. Everything starts with a vision, and the fact you had that vision.
It chokes me up to even come up here, and it's like
from where are you living now?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
I moved in 2004, and like I said, I only did the first 3. But I mean, seeing what it is now, I mean, I can't thank my friends enough. Yeah. I really can't.
So you knew Victoria and Kelly then?
I knew Kelly, and I only knew Kelly. I didn't know Bill, and I didn't know Victoria.
Had she opened the Wheelhouse by then? Okay.
No, she hadn't opened the Wheelhouse by then.
But they're pioneers in many ways, I say.
But you know what's funny is I was going through my attic a couple of months ago, and I found this old money box, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, wow, that looks like the money box I had for the second ride. And I opened it up, and sure enough, in there were all the wristbands we used, and the registration list, and Kelly's name is on there.
Oh, that's great.
And
I love that.
Kelly's name and Kelly's address was on there because we wanted to get a mailing list going. And it's like how cool is that?
I'm doing that now, going through boxes and boxes of photos and curating it as best as I can. So, well, of course, Slow Roll, what a great thing that is. I love being involved. I did my first one maybe 3-4 years ago, and I met Big Mike. It was at St. Andrews, and there were only about 200 people there. And it was, just to watch that grow and I feel like I'm a real part of it. There's been so much love and kindness coming back, and old man Steve that everybody calls you.
Here's another funny story, right? So Apple did that commercial about the slow roll, right?
Oh yeah.
And we were watching a football game, and we're down in Cincinnati, and they showed that commercial, and my wife looked at me. She's like, "They stole your idea." I was like, no, they didn't.
They picked up on it.
The Tour de Troit
They're
is
continuing
a totally different thing.
But in many ways, it's just the continuation and the carrying on of the energy.
I mean, that's another thing that just like, I mean, it's like that's another thing that I might have had a little hand in.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, remember that. Pat yourself on the back.
And there's a lot of us that we like to do both.
I will, you know what? I will never pat
myself
on the back. I will always deflect to.
There's room for everybody to get accolades and thanks. So thanks to Mike for being such a warm welcome friend when I started writing Slow Roll, and the guys have been so welcoming to me, and gosh, it's just so cool to meet you.
I did a good job of watching the beer tent, by the way.
Right.
Very good.
You know what, Emily? This is kind of a lifelong dream for me to meet you too.
Well, that's very cool.
I mean, seriously, like I said, I remember the store, and I remember the slogan, and I remember all of that. I was this high, but I remember that.
Well, I'm sure just like with Mike, it's the start of a friendship that we're going to continue.
Yep,
right.
I hope so.
Well, we all say nice things about Tour Detroit and Detroit.
And nice things about Detroit, too.
All right.
Yep.